We are here at the Bullet Central booth, and I am talking with Zach. Great to see you, man.
Great seeing you, John.
All right, Zach, tell everybody what you do for Bullet Central.
So I'm the Director of Sales for Bullet Central and focus a lot on the Bixen Andy dealership and international dealership as well.
Okay, we're going to talk about a bunch of different things that Bullet Central does. I know them as a really great source for components, Bixen Andy's triggers. I've bought dies from you in the past. I know there's some newer products that you have out. And then there's an entire side of Bullet Central that does full belt guns, barrels, stocks. So why don't we start with Bixen Andy? I know that is sort of one of your bread and butter items. You've carried them for, I can't even tell you, as long as I've been in competition shooting.
Yep.
There's some new triggers that are out. Why don't you at least talk me through that? We're standing here. Let's hear about it.
Yeah, so Bixen Andy, we're the sole importer and distributor through the U.S. and the world besides the European nation. So yeah, they've covered the whole game. They covered from the Bentress F-Class world in the Plinkers all the way down to the PRS and into the hunting world. They make a trigger for every discipline, and also they're starting to expand more into the other, the Seiko, the Tikka, the Savage.
Yeah, I saw you guys just released the new Savage trigger, right? That is a sorely needed item.
Yeah, just released the new Savage. And, talking with them with the Dakota lineup, it's always been 1 to 4 pounds. And we're like, what can we do possibly for the Savage trigger that may go lower? Because there is the new Savage precision guns that they're coming out with, and those guys like to go below a pound, so they were able to make a trigger that's going to be right around that 6 ounce mark, all the way up to 4 pounds.
Oh, so when they're hunting, precision, PRS, doesn't matter.
Yep.
Really wide range.
And that's what we want to do, because we didn't want to have 3 or 4 Savage triggers. If we could come out with one that covered, everybody's bases pretty much, that's ideal. But
yeah, and I know one of the things about Bixen Andy that is a little bit different compared to some other competition triggers, let's say that are in the same space, is that Bixen Andys are designed to be customer serviceable, right?
Yep.
I can take it apart at home. There's no warranty being voided. There's nothing like that. There's no, Jack in the Box going to pop out and hit me.
Exactly.
Right?
So every single Bixen Andy can be opened up and cleaned and serviced. Like you touched on, it's not a Jack in the Box. A key thing to the Bixen Andy is it's customizable to the shooter's action and to their preference of pull weight, how they want to set up possibly a 2-stage, and whatever trigger shoe they would like. With all the other actions out there, whether it's a bat, a Kelbley, a Borden, Impact, there's all sorts of different actions out there that people have custom rifle builds on, and it's not one trigger fits all. So these triggers out there that are a drop-in trigger, set the pull weight and go, that's not what Bixen Andy wanted to do. So on the Bixen Andy lineup, you're able to change the sear height, which is going to give you, your proper cock on close. You're going to either take it away or gain more depending on your sear height. So really being able to put the adequate sear height in there is going to be a game changer. You also have a bottom sear engagement in there, which allows you, with all the internals, to get the adequate break of the trigger pull that's needed for that action.
Yeah, I know for me, one of the things that really set the Bixen Andy apart was the fact that you don't use an adjustable, we'll call it a screw or set screw, for trigger weight. It is actually a spring set trigger weight.
Mm-hmm.
And what I thought was great about that is I know a lot of guys who have 2, 3, 4 F-class guns.
Yeah.
When you have an adjustable trigger weight, you're always sitting there with a trigger pull gauge, and do I have them all set the same? Is 1, 3, 4, 2 ounces. With this, if I want to change spring weights, I just get the same spring, throw it in all 4 guns. Now I know they're all exactly the same.
Yeah, exactly. So that's perfect for the competition triggers with what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
They want the adjustability to be down all the way to that heavy spring, medium spring, or the standard small spring, I guess, or the light spring they call it.
Yeah.
And also with the TacSport Pro X, it runs on a little bit different system, but what it does is it's a bar that has a rotation around there with 2 springs. So it's got a light pull weight spring and a heavy pull weight spring. and you never want to be maxing one out or on the very edge of a spring.
Right.
So that's really nice. So it allows you to get those lower pull weights with a lighter spring. And then if you are going heavy, you're not stretching a small spring out or going low and trying to compress a little spring. It allows you to get that adjustability without going to the far end or near.
Perfect. And then I see behind you here we have the Micron dies, right?
Yeah.
So walk me through, I know there's arbor dies, sizing dies, and seating dies. So walk me through what we've got here.
Yeah, so made in Fargo, North Dakota, designed by Chris Harris, and Luke is our machinist there. And what they've been able to do is spectacular. You know, we're not a big fan of modularity because we think modularity runs into stacking tolerances, which leads to run out. So in our dies, it's a reamered chambered die, and it's dual lock rings, which guarantees a perfect perpendicular alignment to your press. That's the theory behind the two lock rings. And we just launched the new mandrel, which we'll have pictures for you on the video there.
Cool.
And they're a bushing die, so it allows the guys that are shooting a 6.5 Creedmoor, and if they want to switch to a 6 or the new 25 Creedmoor or 22, all it is a bushing swap.
Oh, nice.
So
nice.
You know, our most popular that we just came out with as of recent is that new 765 PRCW die.
Yep.
We opened up the neck on our 6.5 die, and it'll be able to work for the guys that are running that 765 PRCW.
And if that same guy is hunting with a 6.5 PRC, he just switches out the bushing. Now he can use the same die for regular 6.5 PRC or the 7 PRCW
100%.
style, right? Okay.
Yep, 100%. So it's got that neck clearance there that allows that that bigger neck to go through.
And it looks like the sizing dies are nitrided.
Sizing dies are nitrided, so and hand polished at the end. So when we get it back inside the die, we get the oil and some of the nitride in there. We want to polish that down so it actually is hand polished by Luke himself, and then he looks it over with a borescope to check the QC, and the bodies are then assembled to complete.
Okay.
Same kind of goes with our arbor die. I know, John, you did a video on it a while back, but so if you want to check that out, there's a lot of good information there. But yeah, on the arbor die, you got the body that's a chambered body, and you got the seating stem at the top, and then it's hard to see from there, but on the body, you have thou increments that are just on a dual lock ring as well. Undo the one lock ring, move it a thou, move it back up, good to go.
Excellent.
Helps
Excellent.
for that. And same gist, just in a threaded body for the threaded cedar.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very cool. All right, so we've got triggers, we've got dies. You guys also have a new press?
Yeah, new press, yeah.
Okay.
So it'll be added to the Micron family. It's a dual ram hood press, and it allows the shooter, it's very compact and sleek, it allows the shooter or the reloader to be mobile with it if needed. I know how much people say reloading is a time sucker and they want to spend time with family, and some people really do like it, but some people they got kids. And
I always ask, do you shoot to reload or reload to shoot?
Exactly. So that's a huge thing, and I think if you ask anybody, I don't know if it'd be 50-50, but there's a lot of people out there that they need to reload, but they also just like the shooting aspect. So it gives that time. If you don't have time, you can always bring it to the hotel room, the range,
clamp it down,
and get to reloading. One of the big things on there, if you don't have a die that can do thou increments, while you're doing your reloading process, your ladder test, you're able to do, or your seating depth test, you're able to get that thou increment from the RAM without having to move your die.
Because it has basically an indicator on it, so you know where you're moving at a thousandths at a time.
Yep, it's got the indicator and a lock nut as well, so you undo the lock nut, move the adjustment around, it's got an indicator line, lock it back down, and you can work your ladder test from there.
Okay, so we've covered some of that stuff. Walk me through components. I know, obviously, look, components are tough right now.
Yeah.
You guys, at least for my group, I know, I've got roughly 300 or 400 people in my local group. A lot of them look to Bullet Central, especially for some of the harder to find stuff. Vihtavuori, the Burger bullets, ADG brass. Let me see here, 22 stuff, right? You guys are doing like all the Lapua ammos. What other 22s do you carry?
Well, yeah, the Lapua, and then also the SK.
Okay.
And also the Norma.
Okay.
And Ely as well.
Oh, so you've got basically anything that anybody's going to be looking for.
Yeah, it's been very difficult, and a lot of people. I look at 22s like kind of the flavors of the ice cream for the barrel.
Yeah.
So from Center X, which is on that $23 now range.
Yeah.
Some people were like, my gun doesn't shoot that as well, but I shoot the Norma Match. Or some people will be like, I have to get the Center X because it shoots the best out of my gun.
Yeah.
And in between, so we got to carry all those avenues. And right now, with the shortage of 22, I did talk with Capstone or the Burger rep yesterday, and sounds like Lapua 22 is not going to get any better for the 2024 season.
Very, very high demand.
Yeah, so for any shooters out there that are hoping to get a brick and then test it and then try to get a whole case of it, it's highly doubtful. You may just have to bite the bullet and get the whole case.
And I've had, I've been shooting the SK side of it for a long time, and I've had really great luck with the SK long range rifle and the regular rifle match.
Yep.
And I think it's, of course you're going to get a few more flyers out of it, right? But the reality is it's really great ammo. I've shot some fantastic 100 and 200 yard scores just with my Rimex on like a bench rest match. I admittedly am pretty horrible at the NRL 22 stuff, but that SK has been just amazing for any of the whack and steel stuff, and it's really great value.
Do you remember the SK magazine in the can?
Yeah.
Oh man, I just was talking with Jeff. I'm like, we need to bring that back. That was my favorite because 500 rounds, and it's just in that can, loaded, and it shot extremely well for a lot of the guys at work, and customers as well.
So we've got the reloading tools, we've got the components. What about custom rifles, barrels, match stuff? I know that is a huge arena that you have jumped into lately.
Yeah.
And you guys have all the tooling in-house, the machines, and these are being turned out by your team, right?
Yeah, by our team, everything in-house, whether it's Luke doing the gunsmithing or Matt, we just brought on, Matt Dane. He's a PRS shooter as well and heavily into the machining. So it's honestly been great because we carry a wide variety of great companies, whether it's barrel manufacturers, action manufacturers, stock manufacturers.
Yeah, I see the stock caught my eye. I mean, you've got, GRS, MDT, MPA,
another GRS and
Elements,
XLR.
XLR. I mean, so it isn't, I know a lot of custom manufacturers really kind of pigeonhole into a stock manufacturer.
Yeah.
This really lets me decide, like, maybe I don't particularly shoot one stock very well, but I really want a different one. I can kind of pivot with my build with you guys.
Yeah, and one that we don't have up here is the Foundation as well, and that would cover our full lineup. But so what this allows the shooter or new shooter as well is to really see the different options, whether they come in for their build that they're going to do or for talking over the phone with it. Every product you see here is either used or have been used by one of the guys that work at Bullet Central, so they have a lot of good feedback on it. So that helps, really give the customer a good sense of feel when they want to know, is this what I'm looking for? Maybe it isn't, maybe it's not, and we'll try to find something that is.
So maybe I don't want a full rifle build, but I've got an action that lets me buy a pre-fit. Yeah. What are my pre-fit options at Bullet Central?
Yeah, so the pre-fit options at Bullet Central is your impacts, your bats, your defiances, and Kelbleys. And then also we have a Terminus program and a Curtis, but we don't have the actions on hand, but we can still do pre-fits.
And whose barrels are you using for the pre-fits?
So barrels we're using for pre-fits are the Bartlin, Brux, Krieger, and Lilja. Then soon to be custom rifle barrels from Austin Orgain as well.
So if I want 3 groove, 4 groove, 5 groove, 6 groove,
we got it covered.
You got it covered.
And
contours, tapers,
any twist almost.
Wow.
For the spectrum of what discipline you're doing, and that's what we like to do at Bullet Centrals. We carry from almost all the products and what a bench rest guy will need. We carry almost all the products a guy in F class needs to get started up or continue into the PRS heavily as well. And then all the way and getting our feet wet more and more each day into the hunting products, because there is so many out there, but we want to choose the ones that we actually believe in, test, and use every day. So that's that's a big step for us.
Nice. And I think the last thing we're going to look at here around the corner is going to be bat actions. Now, you guys have carried bat for quite a while.
Yep.
I know you guys have a really great relationship. In fact, you guys are the sole sort of creator impetus for the Nuvo action, correct?
Yep, for the Nuvo action, and then we're also their international distributor, sole international distributor for bat actions as well. So anybody on the channel that is international, I'm their point of contact for getting a bat action in their country.
Okay, awesome.
But yeah, the Nuvo is a collaboration action that Bat, Dwight Scott, and Chris Harris, the owner of Bullet Central, kind of put their minds together and really came out with. They first started out with that the baby Nuvo, or the actual Nuvo, for that short and mid-range bench rest, and that was kind of Chris's game at the time and still is, and this is kind of his baby and everything he loves about an action. So
and we're going to have a complete video with Daryl Tom from Bat Action that will be available after this, and really some really fascinating information coming from Bat directly on that. I was really pretty interesting to hear why and how they sort of design different actions, firing pin systems, everything. And
I see that it's not on here right now, but for the guys that do know or are wanting to know, the Nuvo AL is the Nuvo aluminum.
I was wondering if that's what it was.
Yeah, so we just got a few in as of recent, and they are going quick, but you'll start seeing them on the line. It's the exact same action, but aluminum with the steel insert.
What's my weight savings? Obviously, for like TR, that's a huge issue. What's my weight savings over a standard Nuvo LR?
I think it's about 10 ounces.
Oh, wow. That's quite a bit.
Yeah, it's quite a bit.
It's quite a bit.
I would have to look, but I think it's almost 10 ounces.
Okay.
So, but yeah, so the F-class shooters, the F-open shooters, will be able to pick one of those up, and then also we'll see what we have in the future with it. So
very cool. All right, well, we've got the guns, we've got the actions, we got the reloading components, we've got the gear. Is there anything else we're missing?
No, I mean, it's one of those things that we are bringing on more and more brands every day, and more competitive shooting items.
You guys have the new Garmin Chrono?
New Garmin Chrono.
Yep, I saw that.
There's a new product that Doug Skogman has been...
oh, you're going to carry the Wind Zero?
We're going to carry the Wind Zero, I think.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
For sure.
So have you guys used that yet?
I've seen it. The last time I saw it was like 20 below in North Dakota, so I wasn't too excited.
Wait till you guys get those out on the range. They are going to blow your mind and change how you see wind.
Yeah, I cannot wait. So we're gonna carry the Wind Zero because I see, whether that's in the shooting schools or whether that's in our Pro-Am match and teaching people how to read the wind and the cycles of wind.
And those are legal in PRS, so they're not legal to use during an F-class match. But in talking to PRS shooters, that is a 100% legal behind-the-line usage device at a PRS match. And the real-time data it gives you, I think that's going to be a game changer for people there.
And also in the bench rest world is what Doug told me as well.
So right.
2 disciplines, and then also just for learning ballistics and learning shooting. And I think that's one of the biggest things in any shooting discipline is how to read the wind.
Yeah, 100%.
Whether your gun is perfect or not, you may not hit where you're shooting if you can't read the wind.
Yeah, cool. So. Well, hey, awesome seeing you, Zach.
Yeah.
Always great dealing with you. And if you haven't checked out Bullet Central, I would head over there. I have a number of friends, and I'm not just saying this. I have a number of friends that use Bullet Central because they keep a really good back order list. They're honest with sending out product. If they have it, you're going to get it. They process it fast. I have a number of people on my team and that I shoot with that are getting powder, bullets, brass. When it comes in, you get it to them. There's no games.
Yeah, so. And that's the one thing we pride ourselves in, our customer service. So if there is any issue or anything, just call us up. We'll get you fixed up right away. And any orders that's placed before 10 a.m. that day will go out.
Oh, wow.
Otherwise, they'll follow the next day, and they'll be out in 24 hours.
Great to know. So. Well, cool. Well, hey, have a good rest of the show. We'll talk later.
Thank you much.